Hi, welcome to Project Geospatial. I'm Adam Simmons at the 2024 GEOINT Symposium in Orlando, Florida. In this segment, I have the pleasure of talking with Deb Davis. And well, you have a large history, and you're pretty famous yourself in the industry. So, well, let's start by learning a little bit more about you from your own perspective, and we'll dive right in.
Okay. I started with, as a contractor with NEMA back in the day before it became NGA, so late 90s. And I've always been on the IT side, the technology side. I came over and I was part of standing up what is now SecNet, the original Secret Collateral Enterprise Network, or
Wow.
SCEN.
Okay.
I actually at one point was leading that. And that was back when IT was it was just IT, it was something, and it's there for storage and transport and not much else, right? And I think that the amazing thing that I've watched and that my team has been part of delivering is turning the IT and the technology into an enabling capability for mission.
Yeah.
And that's just been, and we have the Raven here this year and last year, and that's a great example of how we're taking that all the way now to the edge. So it's just been an exciting career.
Awesome. Well, how did you first start getting into the career before NEMA?
That's kind of an eclectic story.
Oh, good.
I started my career as a second grade teacher in South Philadelphia.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's not the roots we expected.
I know, nobody ever does, but I'm from Philly, and I had studied German in school, and my father said, well, what are you going to do with that except teach? So I got involved in teaching, but ended up somehow teaching second grade, and it was a lot of fun. But luckily, I also took some computer science classes in school, and jumped into teaching computer science to kids, grades 1 through 8 at the time, and that's how I got down to Virginia, actually. And then I jumped into industry as an instructor, and that's how I got into the community.
You went from an elementary school to jumping into industry
Well,
as an instructor?
I should clarify. I had taught through remedial math and summer camps in different venues. I had taught ages kindergarten through high school graduates.
Right.
So pretty close to adults. And that was difficult in the interview process, because
Right.
they were like, well, how do you think you can teach adults? I said, well, it's really not that different. I hate to tell you. And when I was teaching adults, I used to say the only thing that I didn't get was pictures. And then I had literally a guy in my class do a picture for it. It was a graphic class.
Oh, nice.
At that time. And he did a picture for me and printed it out and gave it to me. I said, well, we've come full circle. So.
Oh, great. Well, sweet.
And that doesn't really take me the whole way, but that is how I started.
Well, let's swing back to the future here a little bit, or at least now. And you're currently in GDIT, correct? And
That's right.
You have an interesting job in its own right now. What are you responsible for?
So I'm the Vice President and General Manager for our Mission Solutions sector.
Let's talk about the GEOINT Symposium for a moment. You've been to how many symposiums?
Ooh, good question. I think I started in 2009, actually when I came to GDIT, because I was at Booz Allen before GD, and for one reason or another, I didn't make a number of years to GEOINT. I don't know why.
Okay.
So my first one was literally the week after I started at GDIT, and now I'm retiring at the end of this week.
What year was that?
2009.
2009. Okay. Yeah, mine was actually 2010 in New Orleans.
Ah, okay. I remember that one.
Oh, everybody does, mostly.
Yeah.
So, no, that's great. So you've seen quite a bit in your own right at GEOINT. Can you talk about how much has changed in your perspective, and what you're most excited to see? What surprises you here?
I think it's been fantastic to watch how the community has grown, how the tradecraft has grown, as Rhonda said this morning on stage, how the conference has grown. I mean,
Yeah.
all of the different constituents and academics, industry and government all coming together. And there's so much, I love the St. Louis emphasis and the government hub, and just the way that is, I think, more highlighted now than it used to be. So it's really just, it's just become such an amazing venue for partnership over the years. And it's gotten bigger too, obviously. But.
What new technologies do you see that you feel like are kind of game changing now, and you see them actually really making a difference going forward in the next couple of years?
Well, I think the obvious one that everyone's talking about is AI,
Sure.
of course, and we are involved in machine learning, moving into AI. I think another, and it's really a capability more than a technology, but the other important thing is information sharing across partners, because it's going to be
Well, that's
really,
a
really
reoccurring
important.
theme. It seems to come in waves, right?
Yes.
I know
Right,
that
it
was
does. It does.
yeah. I mean, I remember in early 2005, it was, or 2000s, it was really locked down to some extreme. Then everybody's buying from open accessibility. I feel like we were getting there between 2010 and 2013. Then it started to lock right back up again.
Yeah.
Now you feel like we're opening up again?
I think because of what's happening in the world,
Yeah.
it's come to the forefront again.
Why do you think the pogo stick happens between, or the rubber band effect happens with all this, the open accessibility, especially between agencies?
I think maybe there's there's the desire, and then there's also the conservative aspect of the community. We need to protect the community from risk. So I think it does kind of move back and forth
Okay.
between the tension, between the constructive tension, I'll call it, between those two things. I think is what causes that pendulum swing.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
But you know what I will say, and you didn't ask this, but I have to say this. We all talk a lot about the technologies.
Yes.
But one thing that I think is really important and underpins everything is the talent pool.
Okay.
If we don't figure out in the community how to open the talent pool up and get the folks in and develop the skills to harness that technology and really make it, impactful for the community.
Where
in
do
the
you
right
think we
way.
struggle with the workforce right now?
Well, I think just getting new people into the community. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not saying the community isn't already amazing, but we need new, fresh think, and that's hard to get with the clearance process, and it's hard to get from an acquisition standpoint. It can be difficult to bring new entrants into the field.
Yeah.
So
I've heard it said in past interviews, because the workforce because how technology in our industry is starting to blur between other industries out there. Now we're all competing for the same talent pools, and so that's really the bigger struggle. And so, how do we stand out as
Right.
alluring folks towards what we're doing here as opposed to other
that
other
is
industries?
exactly right. What's the value proposition for those folks to come into the community instead of going, just somewhere commercial, which might be easier, more attractive, you can have your phone all the time, all those things. So how
Okay.
do we raise the visibility and the value proposition for being part of the community and part
Yeah.
of our national security?
Well, what is your suggestions for building up or inspiring young folks coming out of college, or we'll call it even transitioning military to come in? Because I think there's still an educational front on that too.
Yeah, that's a good point. What we've been trying to do, and what I'm personally very passionate about as a former teacher, is really get involved with students young
Yeah.
and help them to see what we do, to the extent we can, but help them to get excited about these careers, and then work with them.
Right.
Bring them along, and then. Of course, the folks coming out of the military, they're already excited about national security.
They
kind of
do.
because
They all, but they also struggle with their options
But they struggle with
because
their options,
the
so-
transition assistance
right.
programs are just atrocious. So
So getting involved with some of those, like Launch Code in St. Louis,
Yeah.
some of those groups that help transitioning, not necessarily out of the military, could be somebody's changing careers,
Right.
but helping them understand why it's so rewarding to work with, close to the mission.
okay, great. Well, any other last minute words of wisdom as we close up? Perhaps just once again inspire some young folks to why you're still excited about this community.
It's hard to put into words, but I am here still because I love the people I work with. I love the community, and I do love the mission, because if we don't care about the security of our country, we have so much to lose, and
Yeah.
so it's just been so rewarding to be part of, and as a former teacher, it's been so rewarding to mentor and develop my team and a lot of people around me. So it's a great career path.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for the conversation and learning more about you and your amazing insights you've gotten over the course of your career. So,
Thank you so much.
yes. I'm Adam Simmons with Project Geospatial. We will talk to everybody next time.